It's an Amboy.
And
Thank you.
Blaine, I'll also talk to him about that, and I've been in touch with him. He's doing, or probably already did, a locate a mistake, so that he can go back in there and slope out what he needs to.
And based on the frost in the ground and whatnot,
He's gotta wait until it
that was my
firms up
question.
enough, and
Yeah.
So is that something that we would expect to be done by the end of April, or?
yes, I've got a
How
meeting.
how is he on our tickler to make sure things are gonna get done?
I've got a meeting with him specifically. The 17th, so Monday, I've got a meeting
March
out,
17th.
yeah, and this coming Monday, I've got a meeting out there on site with him to go over, what we want him to do. He says he's got a 1/2 inch rubber mat that that way if he needs to run equipment across the road, he can put the mat down and not damage the road. And we're supposed to meet on site to say, this is what you need to do, this is when you need to do it. And to do all that, like I said, I told him he had to call in a locate he already hit the fiber optic line for Frontier and left like this little thing of dirt with a telephone pole sticking in the middle of it. So he's got to deal with all that with locate. So, and we got a complaint that they said he was tracking dirt out on the road. It was actually Frontier, and they're trying to fix their lines, and they were going in and out. They're the ones that tracked the mud, and so we'll deal with that.
And in terms of, when he's gonna get that done, I mean, that's heavy clay down there, and it depends a great deal on the weather.
Oh, yes.
Weather conditions we have. If we continue to, we would get an inch of rain a week, it may be into May before it gets dried out enough to do what needs to be
He
done.
thinks that he'll be able to do it as soon as this kind of dries out a little bit. He's actually been really good for me to work with. He hasn't given me any guff or he had some medical issues and stuff like that, but
Because I guess I thought this started last fall with enough time to make the correction in the fall.
and that's when his whole thing with his son in California happened, and he was gone for like 2 or 3 months.
Okay,
When he got back, then he got sick.
okay.
So now supposedly everything's good,
Okay.
other than the mud.
So.
Then the ground froze about the same time he got back.
Yeah.
Right, so I guess, do we have a plan for how many more life events we're gonna wait for?
When I talk to him on Monday, we're gonna haggle that out.
That's what that's.
Drop the hammer.
Well, I didn't wanna say it that way, but
Yes.
I want to know what our plan is, because
I do too.
at some point, we gotta move forward.
Yeah.
Alright.
Tell him he either does it himself or hire somebody to do it.
Well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else?
That'll do it.
If this is the time, I guess I would like to, discuss Genesee Road, and there were a couple emails on that. I quit getting emails, so I'm assuming Kevin.
We've been in touch with the township. And we've
Well,
told
but
them-
not the township, the individual, I
Okay.
believe it was Kara Shaw was the name.
Well, I think, yes, the individual he's talked to, but we've talked with the township,
Right,
and so we're gonna make it right. We'll keep
right,
working on it. We're gonna put some stone in it, try to lock it up with some stone. And if whatever we need to do, we're gonna have to take it.
right. And then, I do know I did drive House Neck Road all the way down to Denning and up to Sterling. I know I probably went under 10 mile an hour the whole time, and I would say my car definitely had mud in the wheel wells, but it wasn't up on the windows. But what I will say is I don't travel gravel roads day in and day out. I guess what I'm saying is they were passable for me. I don't know if that was normal on those roads, given the frost was coming out.
If you drove within the last 2 weeks, they're horrible.
Right.
As we're getting through all of them now, that's gonna scratch them all up, and the graders come right along and do a little more cutting. But yes, every road is
Right.
Either muddy and or potholed, or if it's dried out and it's still got potholes, we still gotta cut, you know, so. The berm, I agree, there's a lot of roads that,
Yeah,
the berm, I've said that ever since day one, that, you know, berm is the big issue here. But if it's those big berms, it's gonna take a lot of extra work. If it's the small ones that maybe work has been done in the past few years, we just need to, you know, stick the blade to daylight and get it in, we'll do that, and that's what they're hopefully doing with all the graders. The trucks can't do that. But those big berms, we're gonna have to do projects for those.
And what I know is Moscow Township has little to no money. So for them to take on a project, I think is not realistic. So what I would like information on, or follow up with, is what we have done to better House Nick Road in their low spots and or their berm areas. Because again, I'm hearing the same thing all the time, and I know we're trying to make progress. What have we specifically done in that township of Moscow on House Nick?
I'll have to.
And I know that, if you just get back with me, so that way, because I know we try to do the right thing, I know we're trying to move in the right direction, and it is disheartening when we get individuals who live on those roads who tell me we're not doing anything, and I know we're out there doing something,
But I'll agree with them, a lot that we're doing is trying to grade and shape roads. We just can't do all the berms like that at one time.
and sometimes you gotta have material there to grade and shape.
And a lot of times they're told that while they're grading, they'll be ballast and use that to, but one truckload only goes so far.
I drove Brown Road from 12 to Sterling, and before I got to Steve Dennings, I had it in four-wheel drive, and I was beginning to think I'd have to go up and see Steve to start tractor to get me through there.
How long ago was this, Mark?
It was like, last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it was
When
bad.
that frost just started letting go, we had
But I mean, not like Kathy, I'd gotten emails and I'd gotten phone calls and all that, and
People who live on those roads either understand or have to understand. It just happens every year.
it does.
It's been since they've been there.
It's still frustrating.
And I realize it's still frustrating, but that's the way it is.
But I can remember years ago, my mail carrier out of Jonesville would stop at Barker Road at North Adams Road, jack his car up and put tire chains on, and he'd go. But now there's not many people who's gonna jack up a car and put tire chains on it.
Yeah, and they shouldn't have to.
Right.
But
No, they shouldn't.
One of the issues that we have this week that we did not have a year ago, you know, we never put frost logs on a year ago. There was no frost in the ground.
Yeah,
I was at a meeting last night where I heard that somebody had told our building inspector, they were working on a project, that they were 28 inches deep before they ran out of frost.
I haven't heard that much.
When you have that much
I was
frost,
2 foot there for a while.
yeah, when you have that much frost in the ground, it takes a while for it to go and for the roads to get solid afterwards. I mean,
Yeah.
I went out and did
Anywhere
some
from a foot to
driving yesterday
18
and was
inches.
really surprised that the gravel roads in my part of the county were in as good a shape as they were. Along some of the edges, especially where there were many trees, that's the last place for the frost to go. And some of those, it was still wet, but every place I went, our trucks had been down through there and it
Helped.
knocked the tops off the ruts and in fact, there were many of the gravel roads I was on yesterday, I could drive faster on those than I could on Camden Road when I came home from Camden last night.
I guess one more thing, if you keep reminding me of stuff, on frost laws, we're getting a lot of calls on, well, when are you gonna take frost laws off? I'm like, well,
Just put 'em on.
I've actually been talking with St. Joe and Cass. I haven't talked to Jay at Branch or Scott over at Lunaway yet, but they're actually talking about possibly taking them off next week. I'm like, no, we're looking at least 2 weeks, if not 3. depending on how the weather does, it's, you know, the 70 degrees of rain could help
Change
us
it,
immensely,
yeah.
or,
Yeah.
you know, so, just, you know, they're kinda looking at it already, they're getting pushed back from some of their people, but I'm not wanting to,
I think we need to err on the side of our roads.
that's what I told them to.
I'm sorry, we get complaints that our roads aren't where they need to be. We don't have enough money to fix them, we certainly don't need to hurry something that's gonna make it worse. That would be my
And
advice.
especially then, this year with all the frost we've had.
Correct.
So depending on weather, I'm saying earliest, maybe the 31st, and probably a week or two after that. And we'll use Thawcaster, we'll talk with the other counties and see what they're doing, and check the roads. Sorry, keep interrupting you.
Anybody else, or any other new business to come before the board?
I do have an inquiry to make.
Go ahead.
I drive by, I don't even know what road I'm on, cause I'm over by Bobby's Lake and all the little roads that I go to Lanphier. They're building a house there, they don't have much yard to park in, they have moved a bunch of hill to expand this house. So their trailer sits on the road, a lot of dirt's on the road. Are we as a road commission concerned about any of that?
Yes, where's it at?
Juanita. Juanita,
There you go.
corner of Juanita and Lakeview.
It's less than a half a mile, or about a half a mile from here.
It's, I'm just amazed at what's going on there.
You
And that road was recently re-pebbled and we did that 2 years in a row because we had issues there.
Churchill.
Yeah, that's it, that's right. Thank you. I know, thank you for giving me the right terminology. My brain has a hard time keeping up, I think, so.
No, we do need to go look at that, cause they can't be putting things on the road, permanently parking vehicles on the road.
Well, it's during the day, they move them off at night. I mean, that's in and the trailer that was sitting there, you know, it may not be there as much, you know, I don't know, but again,
You go down there?
And if
There we
need be, we can get with sheriff's department and have them come out
Okay.
and cite them or
So
whatever.
do you know where Kathy works?
Over here.
right here.
If you just go east down that
It's
street,
Almeda, not Juanita.
Elmeda?
It's Almeda,
Yeah.
not Juanita.
Yeah, Almeda.
Almeda.
That's
just
not
go
Lanphier.
east there off from
It is
M99
Lanphier.
and
Yeah,
you'll find this
Okay.
place.
across
It's
the
down there a
road.
block or a block and a half.
Yeah,
Or I'm
yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
Almeda.
Lampier is the road it would be on,
Juanita.
and the crossroad is
You
the
gotta go back
Juanita.
towards town.
Almeda.
So towards the lake, if you go on 12, go towards the lake. Lampier only
This
goes
isn't
on.
12, it's 99.
Excuse me, yes,
Now we got you all confused.
yeah.
We'll have him 5
99.
miles away.
99,
You
right?
even know where this thing's at.
I know
No.
exactly where it's at.
Just
No.
follow Kathy, okay? Just-
Like I said, I don't know the name of the roads over there, there's a bunch of little jig-jags that I take to get there.
Just follow Kathy,
Alright.
you'll get there.
Anyway,
Okay, so we have, the contracts with Camden Township before us for gravel patch and road stabilization, and then also, a project on Eden Road, which is, I think, less than a mile long. So, we need a motion to approve these and then sign them.
So, support.
Okay, so we got a motion from Mike and a support from Mark to approve the townships, the contracts for 2025 with Camden Township. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. They're approved. And so,
You gotta go sign.
I have it right here.
No, you took my place, man.
you gotta be early.
I see that.
Okay, any other business to come before the board?
We've got something for public comment, but
All right. So I will open it up now for public comment.
I'll let the public go first.
All right, anybody else?
Yes, I would like to ask a few questions about a couple of policies that was adopted. One concerned ESTA, policy 100 and 101. And they were adopted, but I believe one of them might have been rescinded. Is that correct?
Correct.
And which one was it?
101 is rescinded,
Okay,
and
101.
100 will still actually have to be redone because of, like, dealing with seasonal and some of the new changes that they made last minute, but, so 101's still gonna be there, it's just gonna get changed, and we'll bring that back out. But
Okay.
101's,
101 is
Yep.
rescinded.
Okay.
Okay. Another one was the drug and alcohol policy that went to arbitration. There was supposed to be wording changed back to the old
Yep.
policy. Was that taken care of?
Yes.
We're still
Okay.
gonna bring it to the board.
I was gonna say, was that,
Yep, so it'll be probably on the next board meeting. We've been
Okay.
trying to, it's just been a busy
right,
week.
yeah, 'cause
It's been a busy week.
that's why I was wondering which meeting that was done at. Which meeting was the policy 101 rescinded at, do you know?
It never made it to the meeting, cause I brought it out to you on Thursday, because ESTA was gonna take effect on Friday.
Yeah.
And Thursday evening, they made changes, which basically blew that out of the water, so Monday I came in and said,
Okay, well, the papers you gave us, it said adopted on it, that's why I was curious.
and that was dated for that board meeting that was coming up, and we just go away.
Okay,
We were just trying to get the information out to people because of the deadline on Friday, fell before the board meeting, but the whole thing just got shut out of the water Thursday night.
okay, so it said adopted, but it actually wasn't then?
Yep.
Okay,
That date would have been the adoption date,
okay, yeah, the February
13th, I think.
21st?
Oh,
Yeah, it had a
okay.
13th and a 21st.
Okay.
Yes, okay. All right, thank you.
David?
Yeah, I just wanted to go back to kind of the sign truck bid. I just wanted to thank the board and the chairman, for the conversation.
This is vice chair.
And- Well, he's
Vice-
acting
vice
chairman
chair.
right now. He's acting chairman. Don't interrupt me again.
Carry on.
Anyway, I did just want to tell you guys thank you. I appreciate it. We can finally get this thing here and get things done, right? We got
Move forward.
a ton of signs down. I mean they're everywhere. And also, going back to the contract negotiations, I just kind of wanted to reemphasize that we need to get the ball rolling on this. We got the state resources being set down, a mediator. I think we need to be mindful and respectful of those resources and not waste that opportunity. And we really need to get serious about getting this contract negotiated and done, especially with all the spring projects coming up. We don't really have time for these guys' minds to be on whether or not they're going to get their contract done or what that's going to look like. We need them focused on these projects so we can get these tasks done for these townships and the public overall. So I think that's.
I reiterate
Thank you.
that same thing as him. We do need to get these contracts, this work agreement taken care of. But it seems like it should be a little bit earlier too. The guy's focus is also through the winter time. You know, I mean, that's even more of the detriment as it is the way winter is and ice and snow removal and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's pretty important to make sure we have a secure workforce. Jefferson Township. Have they made any final decisions on anything?
Not that I know
I don't
of.
think
It would've come to get approved here.
Okay, I was
And
watching
then
for
we got
that.
after Jefferson.
I don't think we have it.
Okay.
I'll look at the board.
After the meeting, we can look at my board that shows all the
That would
contracts.
be great. Because we have at the road commission level, some roads up there that need some addressing. Beecher would be one of them, and Bird Lake north to the post office. We missed that Beecher Road from Osseo Road to the end of it a few years ago when we had crews up there. So we've spent well over 100,000 on patching that road, and you can check that out and verify it. Because I know we have.
So you say these got missed, but
They-
missed on what, doing what?
I don't know how it got.
Like power patching or?
Well, no, the road got redone from County Line
Okay.
to Osseo Road. If they'd have went that next mile and a half and finished the job while they were there, we wouldn't spend 100,000 on cold patching it. It's our road. It's not Jefferson Township's road.
Is that a primary?
It is.
Okay.
So I'm just thinking that we're there. Now, I said something about it, and it was like, you're just trying to run the place. Well, that's natural for me. Bacon Road, they did the whole length of it the next year. So influential things. And it made a big difference other than our failure down there on the one end. We're there, we're already there.
Is Bird Lake also primary?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, just to the Beecher.
Just to be.
Yeah, just to the Beecher. And then we're gonna do that in our Jefferson Township, streets and stuff, which was proposed. I don't know that for a fact that we're gonna do anything yet. But it's gonna look pretty bad at our level if we can't take care of the county level. If our streets in Jefferson Township are done. Okay, thank you, that's all.
All right. Doug, anything?
No.
Okay. Thank everybody for attending.
Yep.
Okay, Mark.
Yeah.
Yep, that's right, go ahead, you're up.
Uh,
Sorry.
This involves you. You were with me when we went to Lansing at the legislative seminar.
Okay,
And Representative Riley Linting has introduced a bill, House Bill 4180-87, that is to get $3.145 billion for local roads. And it will not be a tax increase. It's monies that they already have. The governor has put her own plan out, but that's only gonna give 1.8 billion to the local roads, and she wants tax increase. And so I have took it upon myself to start a campaign to help Representative Lenning, and when we were at the seminar, I gave Kim Kerr just about a near fatal heart attack when I went up and asked him if there's any Democrats that I could go talk with, because I wanted to discuss this with them. And Kim pointed some out, but by the time I got to them, found their tag that said that they were Democrats, they had their own constituents that were bending their ear, and I couldn't get in to talk to them. So I'm gonna compile a list of Democrats in rural districts, and I'll probably be bringing it before the board, and I've already talked with 3 townships that I represent. I'm gonna try to, they're all, you know, in favor of it too.
Yeah.
So I'm just doing a little bit of campaign here to get this bill going so that we can get some extra funding.
definitely need to do it.
Definitely, we need it,
Yeah.
we need it. We can, and as I've told different townships, that if we get extra funding, that can free us up for, you know, cost share projects with other townships.
Yeah.
And help definitely on our primary roads.
Well, it's
If you
pretty,
have funding like that, extra, I shouldn't say extra, but additional funding, you can then elect to take some of the things that we're using under a project and put it under maintenance.
Yep.
You know, so
Yep.
that helps.
Yep.
The
I mean-
townships too.
and clearly the money, the governor's bonding program,
Was a disaster.
rural counties never saw a a dime of any of that
It was
money.
all for,
It all went to the cities and the,
and it's
Suburban
come back to bite MDOT now, because those bonds are coming due, and that comes out of MDOT's budget.
Yeah.
So they're not overly flush with cash either.
That happened back in the Hager administration, they bonded all that north 127, 300 billions anyway. But we got a road, I like it.
Okay.
I like it.
I have a motion to adjourn.
So move.
I support the motion. So, all in favor of voting to adjourn, say aye.
All right?
Aye.
Opposed, no. We are adjourned.
No.